The admission committee of the Andromeda Institute sat in stunned silence as the holographic data streams flickered before them. Dr. Alex Chen, the youngest xenobiology professor in the Institute's 3,000-year history, felt his hands trembling as he reviewed Lisa Okonkwo's application for the 7th time. "This can't be right," muttered Chancellor Vex, her crystalline Hellion skin refracting the blue light of the data displays. "A human, applying to the Advanced Quantum Causality Program." Alex cleared his throat. "Not just any human. Her neural mapping scores are. They're 43% higher than any recorded sentient in galactic history, including the architect species." The room erupted. 16 different species represented on the committee began arguing in a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and translated speech. Alex understood their shock. Humans were Category 7 sentients, barely qualified for basic stellar navigation training. They were the galaxy's newest members, admitted to the Galactic Concordat only 2 generations ago as a diplomatic courtesy, not for any particular brilliance. Humans were born wrong. Their neural architecture was a chaotic mess compared to the elegant, streamlined consciousness of older species. Their synapses fired in seemingly random patterns. Their decision-making was influenced by primitive hormones and emotional responses that more evolved species had eliminated millions of years ago. And yet, "Show us the causality theorem solution," demanded Professor KX then, a 6-armed Vol mathematician who had spent 4 centuries trying to solve the problem Lisa had cracked in her application essay. Alex pulled up the work. The hologram exploded into a 3-dimensional web of equations that seemed to fold through spaces that shouldn't exist. Lisa hadn't just solved the causality theorem. She'd rewritten the fundamental assumptions underlying it. She'd proven that quantum causality worked backwards through time in specific gravitational fields, and she'd done it with an elegance that made Alex want to weep. "There's something else," he said quietly. "The observers have been monitoring her." That stopped the arguments cold. The observers were the galaxy's oldest intelligence network, a shadowy organization that predated the Concordat itself. They watched for existential threats, reality-warping technologies, paradox engines, anything that could unravel the fabric of spacetime. "Why would they care about one human?" asked Chancellor Vex. Alex pulled up a classified file, his security clearance barely sufficient to access it. "Because she's not thinking like a human, or like any known sentient species. The observer's psychological AI can't model her cognitive patterns. And 3 weeks ago, she started working on something in her personal lab." The hologram shifted to show surveillance footage of a small apartment on Earth. Lisa sat cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by handwritten notes, an archaic human habit. She was 22 Earth years old, with dark skin and hair pulled back in a practical bun. Her eyes moved rapidly across her work, occasionally darting to a holographic display showing real-time gravitational wave data from the Sagittarius A black hole at the galaxy's center. "What is she working on?" Vex asked. "We don't know. The math is. It doesn't correspond to any known field of study. The observers think she's developing a new branch of physics." KX then leaned forward, all 6 arms gesticulating. "And if we reject her application, keep her away from our resources." Then she continues working alone, without oversight, without understanding the implications of what she might discover. Alex met the mathematician's multifaceted eyes. "The observers have run probability matrices. If she's isolated, there's a 67% chance she independently develops a technology that destabilizes the galactic core within 15 years. The silence was absolute. "And if we accept her," Vex's voice was barely a whisper. 33% chance. We can guide her, teach her the ethical frameworks, the safety protocols, maybe channel her brilliance into safe directions. Or we accelerate the apocalypse by giving her access to the most advanced scientific resources in the galaxy," countered KX then. Alex had wrestled with this question for weeks. He'd reviewed Lisa's file obsessively, her childhood in Lagos, her scholarship to the Earth Concordat exchange program, her rapid mastery of quantum mechanics that had left her human instructors baffled. He'd watched interview recordings looking for signs of instability, of dangerous ambition. What he'd found was a young woman who asked, why? With an intensity that bordered on desperation, who saw patterns where others saw chaos, who looked at the fundamental laws of physics the way a linguist might look at an unknown language, searching for the grammar beneath the syntax. "I want to meet her," Alex announced. "Before we vote, let me talk to her." The committee reluctantly agreed. 3 days later, Alex sat across from Lisa Okonkwo in a cafe on Europa Station, watching her doctor a cup of coffee with an alarming amount of sugar. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, but those eyes were sharp and curious. "You're here to talk me out of applying," she said. "It wasn't a question." "I'm here to understand why you're applying. You must know what you are to them, to us." Lisa smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. The broken species, too emotional, too chaotic, neural architecture like a bird's nest made by a drunk bird. "That's not." "It's fine, it's true." She took a sip of coffee. "Do you know what it's like, Dr. Chen, to see things that no one else can see, to look at equations and understand them the way you'd understand a friend's expression, to see the universe as this beautiful, terrifying puzzle, and know that you're the only one who can perceive certain pieces?" Alex felt a chill. The causality theorem was easy, she interrupted. Child's play, the real work. She pulled out a data chip, sliding it across the table. "This is what I've actually been working on." Alex stared at the chip like it might explode. "The observers have been watching you." "I know, they're terrible at hiding." Lisa leaned forward. "Dr. Chen, do you know why humans are born wrong? Random evolutionary." "No, we're not random. We're brute force solutions." Her eyes blazed with intensity. "Every other sentient species in the galaxy optimized for efficiency, streamlined consciousness, elegant neural pathways. You all evolved in environments where the correct solution was to think clearly and logically. And humans? We evolved on a death world. Earth tried to kill us for millions of years. So our brains didn't optimize for elegance. They optimized for survival. Multiple redundant systems. Emotions that override logic when logic gets you killed. Pattern recognition so aggressive it sees faces in clouds and conspiracies in coincidences." Alex began to understand, and that makes you able to see solutions that elegant thinkers can't, because I don't just follow the logical pathways. I see the spaces between them, the illogical connections that turn out to be profound. She tapped the data chip. "This is a proof that the galactic core is unstable, has been for 3 billion years, and it's going to collapse in approximately 800,000 years, give or take." The cafe seemed to tilt around Alex. That's impossible. The gravitational balance is held in place by something artificial, something the architect species built before they disappeared, and it's failing." Lisa's voice was steady, but Alex could see the fear beneath. "I've found the math that describes it, and I think I can fix it, but I need help. I need the Institute's quantum computers. I need experts in gravitational engineering. You need us to trust you." "Yes." Alex looked at this young woman who shouldn't exist, whose chaotic human brain had somehow perceived a threat that the galaxy's greatest minds had missed for eons. He thought about the observer's probability matrices, about the choice before the committee. Reject her, and she works alone, possibly triggering catastrophe while trying to save everyone. Accept her, and risk giving dangerous tools to someone whose mind they couldn't even properly model. Or the option no one had considered, trust her. Trust that being born wrong might be exactly what the galaxy needed. "The committee votes tomorrow," Alex said quietly, picking up the data chip. "I'll make sure they see this, all of it." Lisa's shoulders sagged with relief. Thank you. As Alex left the cafe, he thought about humanity's chaotic neural architecture, their emotional irrationality, their beautiful, terrible tendency to see impossible solutions. He thought about Lisa Okonkwo, brilliant beyond measure, carrying the weight of galactic survival on shoulders that seemed too young, too human for such a burden. And he realized that perhaps being born wrong was just another way of saying born different, born necessary, born to see what others couldn't, when the galaxy needed it most.